This is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing. Started my inspection at 688 Via Encantada out here in Chula Vista. We got a flat concrete tile roof. We're starting up underneath the eave of the house. So the eave of the house is going to consist of your fascia board. You have your rafter tails and your starter board. And the reason why I like to start underneath the eave is that it gives us a really good idea about what kind of wood damage we can expect on this project. And it shows us how good of a job the roof is doing as far as keeping water off of the roof as well, or out of the property. And you can see we got a ton of bad wood all along here. We got a shadow board right here that's more than likely blocking a lot of water from flowing freely off the roof itself. It'd be a good idea just to get rid of that. When we redo this roof, we're gonna go ahead and add drip edge to it. That shadow board is kind of acting as a drip edge, but what it does is just kind of allows that wood just to rot from what we've noticed. So we're probably gonna go ahead and get rid of that. But you can see all that wood damage that was already starting to occur. Obviously that's showing that water's been entering the property for quite some time. We also have some, we got some termite damage over here in this section as well that we're gonna be dealing with also. So that's something that we need to just look out for. The other thing that I wanted to point out is, again, just more damaged fascia over here as well. So just something that the homeowner needs to notice. Obviously what's happening is the roof is not doing the job as far as keeping water off the property itself. Here we have that flat concrete tile. The concrete tile itself is in pretty good shape. I don't see a whole lot of broken tiles that are on this roof. There's one in particular on this back side that I'm going to point out. We have nice open valleys. They did a good job when installing this roof to ensure that everything flows down these valleys. You can see that some debris is starting to accumulate in it, and that's just because some of these valley tiles are starting to slip. But for the most part, it's doing a good job. You can see this roof has the old school mortar flashing on it. The majority of that mortar flashing is completely deteriorated at this point. It looks like some repairs have been done, but those really aren't doing it well. I pulled this tile right here by the skylight, just to kind of see what it looked like around the skylight itself. And you can see there's a massive leak coming from this section. All the underlayment is completely disintegrated at this point, all the way to the point where the wood decking is completely exposed. And you can see there's a hole almost that goes directly down into the attic itself. So a leak has been occurring in this section for quite some time. I'm not sure if it's been showing its face on the inside, but it is definitely there. We got some solar panels on this roof that we're going to be dealing with. I pulled a couple tiles on this roof, one over here, and then I pulled the one down there that was already cracked and slipping. I want to show the homeowner what the condition of the underlayment of this roof is in. The underlayment is the most important part of a roof. So we got 8 solar panels that are going to need to be removed and reinstalled on this project. Here is the original underlayment on this roof. I imagine this underlayment is 30 to 35 years old. Typical underlayment is going to last 20 to 25 years, but you can see just how brittle this stuff is. This stuff is crumbling in my fingertips. You can see how smooth it is and also just how thin it is. So new fresh underlayment is going to be thick, very gritty, very granular to the touch, and this product is none of those. Put that back. We have some missing tiles over here. Not sure where those tiles went, but they are gone. But it looks like there had been some repair done in this section in the past, because this underlayment is a lot more fresh than the other stuff. You can see how clean this is, how gritty it is. It's very thick, right? So there's been some kind of repair done on this section. I was hoping that this entire roof plane was redone because of the solar panels, but that's not the case, because like I saw, it's a cracked tile over here. I slid this down, and you can see we're right back to the original underlayment again. So very smooth, very thin, no longer gritty or thick or granular to the touch. So in my professional opinion, this roof has gone past its life expectancy. It's causing a lot of damage around the perimeter of the home. There's going to be a good amount of wood repair on this project, and that wood is only going to get worse and worse. The thing with bad wood also is it invites a lot of termites. So we pointed out some of that termite damage that's already started to occur, and that's because the termites love the moist, soft wood. So again, in my professional opinion, this roof is in need of a replacement. We can go ahead and use what's called a lift and reset, where we reuse the existing tiles that are on this roof. The homeowner saved a little bit of money. Again, this tile is in good shape. Concrete does get stronger as it ages. So we can go ahead and reuse it. We'll lift all these tiles up, we'll stack them along the roof itself, we'll replace the underlayment with 2 layers of UDL 40 underlayment. We'll reflash all the sealant, all the penetrations on this roof. We'll reflash the skylight as well. The skylight is more than likely in need of replacement. You can see all that fiberglass showing through. It doesn't look like it's cracked, but it would be a good idea to replace it while the new roof is getting put on. Once all that is complete, we'll install a new drip edge along the entire perimeter of the roof, and then the new tile, or the old tile, goes right back on top. Again, the new tile is not necessary, although if the homeowner is looking to change up the look of the home, make things a little more aesthetically pleasing, then they can go that route, but it is not something that I'm going to absolutely 100% say that they need to do. It's completely up to them at that point, but I will provide them with both options. That's it for my inspection.